welcome to Burning Questions, April 19, a big show in store. My name's Tim O'Connor. Got a big panel lined up. We'll start with the man that logs in most of the time, maybe not always, but he's living the high life at the moment there in Perth. Andy Gath joins us. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Good to join you, and it's good to see the poor weather back home in Melbourne while I'm enjoying the sun over here in Perth.
Yeah, well, we might throw straight to the man that's, look, he's not too far from me there in Sunbury. Rickie Alchin, great to have you on the show, mate.
Hey, Tim, how are you? How you going, Andy and Nate?
Good to have you on. Who we got in the background there? What horse?
The horse?
Yep.
Luxa Turner.
Well, perfect. We'll get to her very shortly. Nathan Jack joins us as well. Nate, thanks for jumping on, mate. And you've just taken us to another part of your trophy cabinet in the house there.
Oh, this is down at the stables, this one, actually, Tim. Thanks for having me.
Good stuff. Let's get right into it. We'll focus on the big meeting at Melton on Saturday night, the Nutrien Equine Classic finals, 8 in store, and we'll also touch on the Nullarbor tonight over in Western Australia. The first of our sponsors is Pride's Easy Feed. They stand as a proud supporter of the harness racing industry with their set recipes and quality ingredients to give the trainer confidence in what they're feeding. So make the switch to Pride's and start getting the result you've been chasing. The first question, Rickie's star filly has been a little off the boil, but if she's right, was the $1.30 a spoil? We'll hold you till last, Rickie. Might go to you, Andy. She was $1.30 when I wrote this question. She's now not, but the question still stands. She does come in with a couple of question marks before Rickie sheds a bit of light. What are your thoughts? If she's right here, she just wins, doesn't she?
Yeah, obviously, she probably hasn't come back quite as good as Rickie probably has hoped for. Her both first runs were still quite good, but yeah, she was pretty disappointing at Young last start. But I'm not sure who's capable of beating her, even if she's not quite at her best. Obviously, Rickie will be able to tell you more later. But yeah, she's a quality filly, and we all saw what she done last season. And you think she's probably going to find the top and be too good for him.
The Sun and the Moon, Andy, that's grown legs since it left your stable.
Yeah, I know. They just keep getting better and better.
Nathan, you're not involved in this race, but Luxa Turner, she could probably get this done 75%, couldn't she?
I thought I was driving the one, so I am pretty involved. But
you are, actually.
Yeah.
You are. I take that back. Start again. Go. Sorry.
Yeah, look, she's a quality filly, and like Andy said, she probably hasn't come back to what we've seen her that she can show. Rickie might think she has, and know others know more than us, but she's a quality filly, and I think she'd probably win this with 2 legs in the air, really. Like, I don't think there's much in it that can beat her, whether she's half right or not. But she's a great filly, and probably the easiest race she's going to get.
Maybe you won't be involved in the finish, is maybe what I should have said, but you can certainly run a place, Nath, can't you?
Well, I'm hoping to be involved in the finish as well.
Right, I might just edit that out later on. Hey, Rick, Luxa Turner, I spoke to you briefly on the phone the other day. I'll let you speak for her, but you basically said that you wouldn't be bringing her down here if she wasn't right.
Yeah, look, obviously we're on the back foot. Her first up run at Bathurst, I was happy with. Obviously, she did get a soft lead, but she sprinted a good quarter and won the heat. And in the final, she was only beaten 6 metres, and I think they went 26-3 the first quarter, and she came from the second line and led. But I wasn't happy with how she pulled up that night. She did pull up a bit distressed and had a very elevated heart. So we actually took her home and pulled a few bloods and did a few tests on her, and she seemed quite normal. Took her to Young the other night. I ummed and ahed about going down from the poor draw into a poor track, but look, she had a fair excuse that night, and I had the bike that I always use on her on the bigger track. She'd never been to a smaller track, and just going up to the gate, she started hitting the wheels, and she really, really over-raced for 1,200 metres of that race. Like, she's never really pulled this filly, and she pulled extremely hard, and she actually choked off. So she did pull up well after that race, much better than Bathurst, and her work since then has been absolutely spot on, and we pulled bloods, and everything seems right with her. So like I said to you, Toby, she wouldn't be here if she wasn't right. She's a good filly, and you should see the best of her tomorrow night again.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, $1.30 may be a spoil then. For those that got it,
like Nathan said, it's this is probably the easiest race she's going to meet in the next few months. So she should should be beating them.
Yeah, I mean,
going to be competitive.
Yeah, I mean, you go back, to August last year, Rickie, and she handled these by 30-odd metres, didn't she, most of these? Might be losing the great man a little bit there. We'll move forward. We'll move forward here. Combining the power of results and horse sectionals with Sulky app, you now have access to gate speed, swooper, ability, and behaviour ratings. Never miss a trainer, driver, or gear change again. Sulky app is a form guide revolution. The juvenile pacing boys battle is one for the ages. So who do we expect to lead the news pages? We talk about race. We talk about race 6 on the card, the second leg of the quaddie. Nathan, you are involved in this race. It's confidential. I might start with you here. These young, these looks to be 4 or 5 really good horses here. I can't wait for this race. In my mind, certainly the highlight on the card. How do you see it all playing out? You're going to need a little bit of luck outside back row draw, but you've got a very, very nice horse on your hands.
Yeah, I'm going to need a lot of luck, Tim, I think. It's going to be a tricky race the way the draws have panned out for everyone. I think the highlight reel will probably work his way to the front eventually. And then I'd say there'll be a couple on the move. I'd say Grant will be on the move and Greg will probably go in front of him. So it's going to be hard for anything out the back to get into it. But it's going to be a great race, that's for sure. And I think it'll be a great form race going forward.
Yeah. Well, it'll be hard for your fella. He can win with a bit of luck, can't he?
Yeah, he's going to need a lot of luck and a lot of things go his way. He's going to need a lot of luck and a lot of the others have bad luck for him to be a winning realistic chance, really.
Yeah. Andy, Kate's driving Wazza. I love that name, Wazza. Horse number 8 here. You would have had a good look at these horses over the last couple of weeks. What are your thoughts on this race on Saturday night?
Yeah, I think the highlight rule, he's drawn wide. He does have the advantage of his main opposition because they're all on the back row. And I think if he finds the top, he's definitely the one to beat. We know what a quality horse he is, but it's up to 22.40 and the heats were sort of run at a pretty slow speed. So just generally run. Some of these might be found out. You don't really know, but it's a pretty deep race. And like Nathan said, going forward, a lot of these horses are going to be going around in all the Group 1s going for the rest of the season, I'd say.
So the highlight reel for you, Andy, if you had to have a bet. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sticking with him. Yep.
Rickie, what are your thoughts? I'd love a comment from you on the Queensland colt. He looks really good, but we don't really know what he's beating.
Yeah, well, I'm with him. I really like this horse, and I know Grant, he wouldn't be bringing him down here if he didn't think he was going to be competitive. Like, he's such a good trainer, Grant, and he knows his horses back to front. But obviously, Clayton and Emma's camp are hard to beat in these races, and they've probably got the barrier draws on him with the highlight reel. But like Andy stated, a bit extra distance. If the race is genuinely run, I do think Grant's horse is the one to beat. He seems to have a fair bit of bottom to him and not just a turn of foot, but he looks like he can stay a bit as well. So, yeah, I think I'll stick with Grant's horse in this one. I'd like to see Grant win it, and I think he's a quality horse.
Yeah, I'm with you, Rick. And, from a punter's point of view, he's a little bit better odds too. I think he's sort of $3.80. So, he may not start that again for a while. I thought he could win, given I like the fact that there's a few other nice horses and good chances drawn around him off the back row. So, he might get a bit of a toe in. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a great race. That's the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings final. Logical Staffing Solutions provide labour hire and recruitment services to the transport, warehousing, automotive and manufacturing industries. A logical solution for your staffing needs. Derek's already hit 3 home runs, but can he smack another against these big guns? We'll leave you till last, Nathan. We're talking about Derek the Jet. If I can search him up, he will be in race number 7, the race after that 2-year-old event. Might go to you, Andy. You've got Ewing in the race, drawn barrier 5. My impressions on the prelude or the heat run is a little bit disappointing, but what were your thoughts?
Yeah, he probably needed that run. This race sort of probably come up a couple of weeks too early for him. So he'll improve off that, but he's probably an unplaced chance at best, I'd say, from that barrier draw. Nathan's horse is clearly the one to beat. He's undefeated, and you think if he does everything right, he'll be undefeated again.
Pretty good, pretty strong statements there from Andy Gath. Rickie, are you in the Derek the Jet camp, or do you think he's is a little bit vulnerable in this high quality event?
No, it's hard not to be in his camp. I was talking to Nathan a few weeks ago about this horse, and he was all praise for him, and sort of told me how much ability he's got and how far he thinks he can go. So it would be hard not to be in his camp. I think Blake's horse Valentino definitely is a really good place chance. He's been improving each of his trials, and I'm sure he'll be fitter again for the final tomorrow night. But look, yeah, it's hard to go past Derek, and if Nathan's as good as judge as he tells us he is, he'll be winning.
Nathan, good segue to you. Give us the lowdown. You're very confident here on Saturday night.
Oh, you can't go into these races too confident. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry, guys.
We've got you back. Go for it.
You can't go into these races too confident. He's racing a couple of Group 1 winners, and he's quite relatively inexperienced. But if he gets it right, I think he'll be extremely hard to beat. And so far, so good. He's got it right, and he seems to be getting a lot more mature every time he goes to the races. And if he was going to make a mistake, he would have made it last week early. But he sort of held himself together and got it right. And he seems a lot better off the front row. So if he can run the gate like he did at Shepparton, I'm sure he'll be up the front end and be pretty hard to beat.
I haven't got the form guide open, Nate, but did you drive Val Thorens through his early days from memory?
Yeah.
In the Group 1 win? I think you might have been with him.
Yeah.
I thought he had a really good chance. I mean, he took, I think he ended up 3 back pegs in the heat run, and he did cut a bit of ground off you. I thought if he had maybe been on your back, he might have given you a scare. Can you give us a bit of a thought on the heat run of him, Val Thorens?
Yeah, my horse is quite casual in front. He only ever does what he has to do. And what I like about him, he never lets him get past him, even after the line. He still won't let him get past him. He just wants to keep going through it. So, yeah, he's a really nice horse, Val Thorens. I really like him. And I think he'll probably be hard to beat again. And he's probably going to be one spot closer this week. So he's going to be a danger, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought. He'd just be one position closer, and he might make it interesting at $5 as opposed to $1.30. But very hard to beat, Derek the Jet. I love the name after you told me, Nath, named after the baseballer. So good luck on Saturday night, looking to make it 4 wins in a row. Hey, Rick, before we head over to Gloucester Park tonight, can we just get a word on your other runners? I really liked the effort of Crusader Miss last start. She worked early, didn't find the front. Then you went back to sort of last in the running line, and then carted them up and hit the front again. I thought it was a really game effort. She's drawn 1 in the 2-year-old fillies final. Not saying she can win, but she could be a sneaky place chance, couldn't she?
Yeah, I actually think at $6 or $7 a place, which she is, I think she's a really good place bet. She's never drawn a good barrier. She got knocked down in the Bathurst heat, which she probably wasn't quite ready to be in the final anyway. Like Brad Hewitt's filly was just too good for him, and she wasn't ready to go with her. But her run in the Consolation was good. She come from back, and Amanda's horse ran a really good half. And then her run in the heat the other day was really good, I thought. I was just a bit annoyed that I did go forward. I thought I might have got Amanda's back if I broke them up a little bit, which I didn't. So I was stuck without cover. But, yeah, she's drawn to be on the fence. And, even if she's 3 fence, she will follow speed. And, I hope she's not 3 fence. I hope she's in behind the leader. But I do think she can run a place, this filly.
Yeah, good push for her. I think you're right. And race 10.
The 2, they're outclassed. Baby Biscay's just too good in that race.
Who's for trifecta and first 4 players? Which one should we be putting ahead of the other of your team?
Mr. Brilliante, he's obviously drawn 1, but he's off the back of a pretty average maiden win at Bankstown on Monday. Look, he's a horse that's improving, but this is out of his reach. If he runs top 4, I'd be over the moon. And Grayson Red he's in the same boat.
Yeah. I don't think Bay of Biscay will get an easier chance at $150,000 race, but good luck there, Rick. We'll move across to the 4th and final question. Tex was good on debut in the West, so can he go a few better in his Nullarbor test? We'll hold you to last, Andy. Might go straight back to you, Rick. The Nullarbor tonight, 8 p.m. local time. Great field, great race, great weekend of racing over there. The Sandgroper last night and the Dogs, the Nullarbor tonight and the Trots, and then the Quokka and the Gallops. It's bit of a bucket list weekend for a racing lover. How do you see that the Nullarbor tonight, Catch a Wave, drawn barrier 4? Have you got any thoughts at all?
I thought he was really good last week. The barrier draw, I don't know what Andy's thoughts are on it, probably makes it a little bit trickier with, Jason's horse, Hot and Treacherous, and Spirit of St. Louis drawn inside him, but I don't actually know how quick Hot and Treacherous is out. I've sort of thought he's got out quicker from a wider barrier at Menangle, more so than in close. So, being in close on a half-mile track, maybe they will get across him from out wide early, and they're pretty confident, obviously, to hold up on Spirit of St. Louis, so I've read. So, maybe Andy's horse might be able to get across and with a bit of cover there early, and I'm sure he won't be out of it. Once again, Andy's a very good trainer and wouldn't have taken him that far if he didn't think he was right and ready.
Yeah. He has been staying at the casino, Rick, all expenses paid. So there probably is another little reason behind that. No, I know what you're saying, though. And
I'm just jealous I'm not there, Toby.
Yeah, me too. Hey, Nathan, what are your thoughts? Going to be a great race. I won't even try to read too much into it. Don't know these horses well enough. The track's difficult. It's going to be an exciting race. We know that. Can Catch a Wave win it?
Yeah, he can win it. He's a great horse. I think he's the class runner of the field. They're all talking tough about the tactics early, which is interesting. I don't think they'll buzz Hot and Treacherous off the gate that quick. They tried to do that at Newcastle and he jumped out of his gear. So I think they'll be pretty cautious early. I think there'll be a few moves though. At the Perth racing circuit's usually pretty good to watch. So I think it'll be a genuine run race, and I think Andy's horse is the one to beat.
Yeah. I don't know. Did you boys see the hype package that they put together at Gloucester Park with some of the highlights on Facebook the other day?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I thought it was unreal. There's one line in there that I loved. 3 laps of the park, turn left, don't concede. I thought that was a great line. Andy, I think you said that got a few goosebumps on the back of the neck. It must be exciting to be a part of this race, first of all.
Yeah, no, it's been great over here. And as you said, with the trilogy, with the whole 3 codes sort of going 3 days in a row, it's been fantastic. And we had a function Wednesday with all the 3 codes. So, weather's been fantastic. Your horse is in great order. I couldn't be any happier with him. He's come through that. Glad I raced him last week. He come through it really good and been able to work him like I wanted to this week. The tricky race to map. I think that it's a false favourite in my mind, Hot and Treacherous. I think he's a little bit overrated to what I've seen he can do. And as Nathan said, you can't really push him off the arm. He can go a little bit rough. But we probably won't get too involved early. I don't think. With only one horse off the back line, I think Kate can just sort of slide in, get a position. And I think that's his best chance of winning is probably. And pretty aggressive drivers over here. They like to keep the tempo on, except for last week. It was the slowest race they've ever been since I've been for the last 10 years. I reckon it went about 63 in the middle half, but that doesn't matter. We're there for experience. So looking forward to it. There's no doubt he can win. So can another 6 or 7 horses. But I'm sure if things go right, he's in the zone to be able to win the race.
So that's for those that didn't tune in last week, Andy. I think you mentioned that he was a little slow to, acclimatise to Western Australia, and you're very, as you've said before, you're wrapped that the Nullarbor wasn't last week because he just probably wasn't quite right, and you couldn't get the work into him that you wanted to.
No, he was really zonked from the trip. Actually, didn't quite as good for about 2 or 3 days. So we forego a fast work we did. We thought, okay, we won't do that. We'll just sort of sit him around and hope that he, got through it good, which he did. So, but since that race, he's been eating everything. I couldn't be any happier with him. We know how hard it's going to be. It's one of the hardest places to win in Australia and WA. Drivers don't give you an inch. It's very difficult, but I'm sure I've got the horse that's good enough to win.
Yeah. Good luck, mate. And you'll hang around one more week for the Fremantle Cup.
Yeah, and hopefully I can find another race for him after that.
And never come home. Good luck. All the Victorians will be cheering for you there tonight. So what's that? 8 o'clock here, Andy. 8 o'clock there. 10 o'clock here for the Victorians.
Yeah. You'll just be onto your 10th beer by then.
Well, I'm going to break. I'm going to the trots tonight, so you possibly might be right. Let's move on to the best bets, Ricky. I don't know if I told you about a best bet, but this is part of the show, and this is where you make your name. It's the Sharps Bakery in Birchip best bet segment. fantastic bakery and home of Australia's best vanilla slice. I might leave you to last, Rick. Andy's pretty good at these best bets, generally speaking. I reckon, well, I can remember it just. I had a few beers last Saturday night, Andy, but Tweedledee got me out of a little hole for yourself and Geordie Leadham. What have you got for the punters this week?
Yeah, I'm going to go with one of mine, but I'm going to go 1x4. I think My Little Bow. I think she's quite a nice filly and probably going a little bit sort of. She was over the odds. She was $34. I think she's trimmed up a little bit now, and she's sort of sat outside Miss Australiana and wasn't too far away from her. And even though she's got an inside draw on the fence, so I think if things go her way, there's no doubt she's a winning hope. But definitely a really good place hope.
Well, if Ricky kicks up and holds the lead, you're a really good chance there. Nathan, your best bet. Derek the Jet's a touch short, but are you going to go that way?
No, I'm not going to go that way. It's a bit too short. I'm going to go Kinvara Kate. I think she's a really good filly. Quite disappointing first up, but I think you'll find she'll be much sharper this week.
Yeah, good stuff. I know you've got good wraps on her. Race 9, number 6, Kinvara Kate. But purely based off that one run, how do you turn the tables on Kian Kirky?
Well, it was sitting on my back. It's not going to be on my back. It's probably going to be giving me 10 lengths and having a lot of traffic, baby trotters. I'm going to have to rely on a bit of luck as well from out there and have to do a bit of work. But it's probably going to be 20 metres off me at some stage or 30 metres off me instead of 2 or 3 metres off me. Yeah,
good point. Race 9, number 6 for Nathan. Ricky, what are you doing? I'm feeling like it's a place bet here, maybe. Crusader.
Yeah, I do think she's big place odds. I don't think she should be $7 a place. Just from the barrier draw, there's far from the worst horse in it, and her work at home has been better than ever. And yeah, I think she's a good place bet at those odds.
Okay, so race 5, number 1, a place for you, Rick, is the best bet.
That's my best bet.
Super. Maybe 50 cents a win, just in case. You never know. Thanks for jumping on, Rick. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Nathan. You're always very kind, jumping on and giving us some time. And Andy, same to you. Good luck, everybody, tonight and tomorrow. That's been Burning Questions here on April 19. Tune into trotsvision.com.au on Saturday night for all the Nutrien Equine Classic coverage. I'll be back next Friday with another edition of Burning Questions.